welcome, and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I will tell you that doing your reading has been, let me move my coffee here because, I'm shuffling, it's kind of swirling. I'm like, I can't stand to lose any this morning. So, the 5-1 reading has been just pressuring me for days. And I don't do well with pressure, expectations. Like, I just completely shut down like a robot. You might feel a little bit of that same way, you know, like after you've been burned from expectations of other people or at all, like even my own expectations have kicked my ass. You just don't deal with them, right? Like, I try very hard myself to set expectations. Anyway, part of the reason why I'm doing these a little bit later, I know that I said before that I was going to, my intention is to, you know, just kind of bring other, like, literature from other folks in the human design world, because I love learning other people's perspectives. It helps me learn, you know, that first line in our profile, right? Like, give me all the information. And if I didn't say it, I'm a 5-1 also. That's where part of my business name came from. So, and actually, I guess Heretic Owl could be, I mean, owl can even be associated with that first line. I just had that realization. Cool, thanks guys. Anyway, I just, you know, true to manifesting generator form, I have like 12 million irons and 12 million different fires and have completely burned myself out. So I didn't have the capacity, the mental capacity to go search for anything, but we're just going to do kind of a quick overview of the 5-1 profile. And then of course we'll get into the tarot, which will just be a general message, for those of you that are heretic owls. Take what resonates, of course, leave what doesn't. So, you know, we lead with that 5th line, heretic, which, you know, wants to offer practical solutions. And, you know, we have this kind of beautiful way of universalizing information. But that also comes with a projection field. So, you know, other people will project kind of a savior complex onto you. Like, you can save the day, or, you know, and maybe you can, and maybe you have. But the trick is, for one, knowing if it's correct for you, which would be following your strategy and authority. Because just because you can step in, just because you have the information, just because you have a practical solution, does not mean that it is correct for you. And that's where that pressure comes from, because we might feel pressure to do it, whether that pressure comes from ourselves if you have a defined root, or whether that comes from, you know, other people. However, with that projection field, if, you know, somebody doesn't believe that you have upheld your projection, then you're burned at the stake. Or if you stepped into, you know, an experience that was not correct, you know, it kind of like burns your reputation a little bit. That's why, like, it's good to have a 6th line around you, because those 6 lines can kind of help rebuild your reputation, because they are really influential, those 6 lines. 6th lines. So like a 4-6, 6'2", 6'3", 3'6". Am I missing any sixes? I don't think so. But they can also, you know, I mean, they do have a capacity to help. And I know I've mentioned before, but you can look at your personality, sun and earth, to get your projection theme. As far as, you know, kind of what people would project onto you. It's just information, right? And we love information because we have that first line, investigator, and you know, that line says that our security, our self-esteem comes from having a firm base of knowledge, a firm foundation of knowledge. So if you feel like you lead with insecurity, especially in an area that you're not very informed of, that would be why. So maybe you even like to be prepared. Maybe you like, you know, of course, to just kind of delve into a bunch of different subjects. But with the 5-1 profile, of course, you know, I mean, it would be offering practical solutions based on, you know, that investigation, based on the information that we are researching. Because that first line wants to be an expert before they share what they know. Or at least close to it. There's so much. There is so much. And I will say, learning about this profile has helped me so much. You know, I mean, understanding my relationships, and mainly the ones that did not work out, because I think, let me see, throughout my life so far, I've gone through 3 major friend purges. The first one being in 9th grade. So, you know, I mean, you might just be able to recognize that in your life too, where, you know, you had a group of friends and then, you know, it just fell apart and you're like, what the hell? So let's get into your reading here. I know I've been talking for 8 minutes already. Oh my gosh. Okay. We'll shuffle only a couple more times here. We're looking for a message for our 5 wands. There we go. Okay. We have the World. Beautiful. I love that this is the first card. Knight of Swords. How beautiful is this? This is the end. This is the beginning. Holy. Love this. Hierophant. The Chariot. I was going to say, if this was going to be another Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh, we have Temperance at the bottom. Wow, so many major arcana. Beautiful. Here for it. Wow. This is so beautiful. Clearly, there's a new journey here. But it seems like, you know, it's this kind of organic, in the sense of you've outgrown a situation, literally. And you may already be feeling some sort of discomfort. but maybe, you know, just kind of hemming and hawing about, well, is it time? Is it not? And honestly, I mean, I'm even doing this reading on the Aquarius full moon. So, you know, there could be something that you are setting intentions for, releasing, which would be this world card, this which is the ultimate release, right? I mean, the world is the end of a cycle. It is the end of a way of being. Sorry about that. Dogs making noises all over the place. So I know we're talking about the world here. And this, so, you know, we start with a Fool. That's when we embark on a path, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be this big extravagant thing. It, you know, it's literally anything that is the beginning. It could be a new way of thinking. It could be a new job. It could be school, right? I mean, like, it can be a relationship, whatever it is, right? And we go through the whole Fool's journey and we come to the end here with the World. And this is, you know, we've learned what we needed to learn. We've seen what we needed to see. We got out of the situation, whatever it is that we needed to get out of it. And it's time to end that cycle and start a new one. And I'm just absolutely obsessed with the fact that we have the World and the Fool card here on the same table. I can probably name on one hand how many times that's happened in a reading. So I just feel like that's a bit profound to me. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm just like, this is amazing. But we have the Hierophant underneath there. This is the card of Taurus. You could be a Taurus, you don't have to be. The World card is an Earth card also, clearly. So you could be an Earth sign. Again, you don't have to be. We have Cancer out here. We have Sagittarius. I can't remember who the Fool is associated with. Yeah. So we have the Hierophant down here. And the Hierophant talks about tradition. It also talks about being in a box, like either you put yourself in a box, and that could be your comfort box, or it could be, you know, like society standards, your family standards. You know, if you're in partnership, it could be, you know, the parameters of your partnership. Right. I mean, like, this would be anything that would be traditional, even institutional. It could be school. It could be a way of working. There's also, you know, this passing of knowledge that comes with the Hierophant. So, you know, even being a teacher or a guide. A lot of different energies coming out of the Hierophant. But, you know, with it being paired with the World card, this is saying that, like I was saying before, you've outgrown the box. You've outgrown your comfort zone, right? Like there's something that would be shifting within the realms of whatever is fitting to your situation. It could even be that, you know, you've been doing things a certain way for a certain period of time, and it's even time to shake those up. It could be, you know, with that first line, you know, if you have been deep in the throes of researching something, trying to learn something, you know, take in as much information as you can about something, this would be saying that you have everything that you need in order to move forward. Like, you can, now it's time to take it to the next level. Now it would be time to universalize that information and use it however you intended to use it when you started learning it. I mean, you know, like, maybe you just wanted the information for yourself, but maybe you found value in it, and that value you want to share with other people. And then we move on to the Knight of Swords here, which, you know, again, what is beautiful is the only minor arcana cards we have here are the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Everything else is major arcana, which tells me that there are bigger changes happening. It's not necessarily like just going through the motions anymore. Like there is a paradigm shift that's taking place. Beautiful. Now the Knight of Swords, swords having to do with our thoughts, our mind, how we perceive our realities. It's also, I see it as the card of ego because we generally hear our ego in our mind. And our ego is responsible for how we perceive our realities. You know, the filters that experiences go through within our minds, and, you know, like whatever pops out from that, right? And this is depicted by the barracuda. Pause to sing. Ooh, barracuda. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head all day, and it's early. So, but this, you know, talks about kind of being sharp and confident, though. It's like, you know, having this confidence in your knowledge. And that's, you know, what I was saying before with that first line, you know, tends to lead with insecurity when it comes to knowledge. This would be being confident in what you know. And using that knowledge, using that confidence to propel you forward with this Chariot here. Because the Chariot is going to move forward quickly. There's no, you know, like there's no stopping the Chariot. I just noticed there's like chickens on here. I wonder what... Let me look at the... Oh, it's a honey badger. The honey badger doesn't quit. It takes what it wants, and it does so without giving a damn. That... Exactly. Let me just, while I'm in this book, let me... let me pull up what it says about... oh my gosh, it even mentions the song. Okay, take a moment, get the song out of your head. This energy will make it much easier to be decisive and confident in your decision, knowing it is, after all, the most logical choice. Yeah. The barracuda is ruthless, stealthy, and fast. They cut through the water with precision and clarity as they go after their prey. Call on the barracuda when you require feeling powerful and sharp. The barracuda is also a master of patience and will help you ease your mind while you are waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Love that. I feel like, I mean, both of these cards, I feel like, are saying the same thing, basically, even though this is technically a water card. You know, this talks about logic, right? And it's and again, you know, that first line, I feel like has a potential to be very logical, and especially when you're dealing with information, right? So this is kind of like, you know, taking that kind of logical step forward. And that's why even, over here, it's like there's something that's been outgrown. And even if you've been kind of sitting in that energy for a while, it's like, okay, now it's time to move forward. You have enough information. You have everything you need. Now it's time to go for it, right? And this is the going for it, right? I mean, the Fool card, like I said, the Fool is the beginning of a new journey. It's taking that leap of faith. It's making the decision to move forward. So there is this major amount of surrender and trust that goes into the Fool, right? Because, there may be some uncertainty. Of course, like, you may just, it may take more energy from you. It may, require more time. Who knows? All we know is that, the only logical option here is to move forward. And then we have this Ace of Cups here. And I just get this feeling of this new like level of love, like because of course, cups having to do with our emotions, which of course, is that universal language of love. It doesn't have to be romantic, can be, but it doesn't have to be romantic. It really, it's really within yourself. I mean, even just, feeling proud of yourself, being in a place of gratitude, just kind of sitting in this energy of, gosh, I didn't even know I could feel this good. Because the Ace of Cups is overflowing. Right? I mean, not only is your cup full, not only do you feel fulfilled and purposeful and loved and, appreciated, but you're overflowing with it. And I think too, as 5 wands, this is very much like, this is very much what I had to learn, because I was trying to get this feeling from other people. And then finally understanding through human design that there are very few people, if any, who would actually be able to see me as clear as I see myself. And I had to let go of the fact that my validation, my worth, my self-worth, my self-esteem even, I had to let go of the fact that it wasn't going to come from other people. It had to come from me first. And it has to continue to come from me. And any other what's the word that I just lost? Any other affirmation of that, like, any other people's acknowledgement of that is just icing on the cake. And, it's drops in my cup here that is already full. Because that's the other thing with the five line, right? Is that other people see a reflection of themselves. That's the projection field. So unless they are able to fully and clearly see themselves, they're not going to fully and clearly see you. And my last friend purge was in 2018, 18, and the people that I have around me now are those people who are able to, like, they're accountable for their own shit. They understand what projections are. So if they are projecting, they can recognize that. But, there isn't an expectation on me. There's very little projection on me. And I don't necessarily anymore, like, I don't really need them to see me clearly, but it gives me peace knowing that they work on themselves as much as I work on myself. And we can talk about, the work that we're doing on ourselves. And that's good enough for me, right? So then we have Temperance here at the bottom of the deck, which is the card of Sagittarius. And Temperance talks about the melding of energies, right? It's alchemy. I always think of chocolate. And tempering chocolate, right? Because there are certain steps that you have to do in order for chocolate to temper correctly, right? And if you try to speed through those steps, if you skip any steps, it could ruin the chocolate and you have to start from the beginning. So that's what temperance is in a nutshell. It's, energies coming together. It's like when you manifest and then it's like, the energies out in the world start moving and getting in place and calibrating to your manifestations. But this to me feels like, and especially because we have the Seven of Wands behind here, this to me feels like that's what has been going on. That's why this whole situation is happening, because it's the culmination of energies coming together. It's like, the time is ripe. There's no other time, like any sooner than now would have not been the right time. And you probably already know that though. And like I said, we have the Seven of Wands, which talks about standing your ground, being a bit defensive. I see this as, these 6 wands here as being other people's projections, their opinions, their doubts, their fears, right? And you're just standing there like, I didn't even ask. I didn't ask for your opinion. I'm not interested in your fear. Like, again, projecting your fear onto my situation. And then we have the 8 of Wands, which is, fast moving. This could be communication coming in. It could be you communicating. Wands having to do with action also. So it's, again, moving forward quickly. We have the Death card here, which is a little smaller than the World card, because this talks about life cycles. It talks about, there's a beginning and an end. And there's that saying that goes, every new beginning disguises itself as an end. And that's what this card is. Like, something is coming to an end so that something new can begin. And what's coming to an end is this 8 of Swords, which is kind of, like keeping yourself in this kind of mind prison of, anxiety and what ifs and I can't do it, I shouldn't do it, whatever. I don't have the experience, I don't have the knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Like all of those things that just kind of keep us, that self-sabotage-y energy. This is beautiful. And, we go from the World confident, right? Like something is ending, confidently, logically taking this new step into the Fool energy. on a foundation of knowledge, right? Having a firm foundation of knowledge in what we want to do, what we're going to do, moving towards that unapologetically, and this beautiful gift of feeling better than, like you probably even considered, right? Like even just this liberation type of feeling. I love that. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon.